Okay, it looks like we're going to be about 2 minutes early. Looks like we're about 2 minutes early. So let me see if I can find this puppy on my in my video list here. And this is part two. This is a continuation from yesterday because we didn't really cover all the ground I wanted to cover yesterday. So this is a continuation. This is part two. And the theme is, should we be buying luxury items now? Should we do that? That is it. And I have to apologize for the moire on this shirt. This shirt has a very fine pattern to it, and so it creates that moire in the broadcast, but it is what it is. It's just this is probably my favorite shirt of all time. It's made by Kenneth Gordon here in the United States. It's 100% linen. And it's just so comfortable. This shirt is just like my all-time favorite comfortable shirt. And so why not, my gosh, why not wear a comfortable shirt on a Sunday afternoon? And Carlos says, hello from Panama, the mighty rats in the house. Craig, the UK clocks went back 1 hour today to British summertime. That meant that we could make an early starting at each other across the living room. There you go. Start staring at each other. Okay. Oh, well, that's good. It's always a good thing to get an early start. I wish they wouldn't change the clocks around like they do. This is just ridiculous. Thurston Howe the third's in the house. He says, hey. So there was also an Omega. Somebody asked me about an Omega. Now, let's do a time check here. David Williams is in the house, and it's just after straight up 5 o'clock. And he says, happy Sunday and all. So somebody brought up an Omega, and I said I would show one that I had on my watch list, and I never got to that. So we're going to cover that also today. And Carlos says, I really cannot think on purchasing luxury items now. There you go. Well, a lot of people are not thinking about that. And that's why it's a topic of discussion, is because sometimes it's a good idea to do the opposite of what everybody else is doing. Sometimes when everybody else is contracting and panicking and all that, sometimes that's the time to make a move. Maybe even buy a house, for example. Maybe you could get a deal on a house if somebody's panicking and wants to sell in a hurry, or any kind of asset. Maybe you could get a deal on some things. Maybe you could get a deal on some equipment for a business. Maybe a business, unfortunately, this was the final straw that broke the camel's back, and they're deciding to shut down their business, and maybe you can buy some equipment for a deal. Maybe a photographer is going out of business, finally throwing in the towel and saying, I'm not going to do this anymore. I had some weddings scheduled. They're all canceled, and I've got all this expensive equipment that I put on my credit card, and I've just got to sell it, and I'm not going to do this. And maybe you can buy that stuff for 10 cents on the dollar, 20 cents on the dollar. Maybe you can get some deals. And take advantage of the current situation. Somebody says, oh my gosh, that's terrible that you would take advantage of something like this. Well, hey, there are people that are going to do it. There are people that are going to make some buys. They're going to make some moves. And they are going to take advantage. This is going to happen. So it happens in any kind of situation like this, where some people panic and want to sell things, and other people are in a position to buy and get some deals. I've heard that you think you have the Chinese virus. Is that true? That I think I have it? I don't think I have it. I might have had it and gotten over it already. Sometimes you just get very mild symptoms, like a little bit of a runny nose, and you get over it. And so it's possible I could have had it at some point. I really don't feel like I've had a cold or the flu or anything like that for many, many years. I can't remember the last time I had a cold or the flu or anything like that. Now, Bree, the lovely Brianna, she was here a couple times, and she was really sick, and I was very close to her, and I didn't catch anything. I guess I just have a very strong immune system. I think it has to do with what I eat, my diet, my habits as far as diet and exercise and things like that. Maybe I just have a very strong immune system. But we'll see. We'll see how it all plays out. And David says, hope all's good for you. To Dur's in the house. He's got a strong immune system. He's strong as an ox. Kyle's in the house. He says, I got my GS. It's truly amazing. Kyle Jet. I've never even got to try this model on before getting it from Steve because Beverly Hills Grand Seiko is closed. They sized it perfectly. Wow. Oh, that's fantastic that the size is perfect. Man, can you email a photo to CraigShipp, it's my name, CraigShipp @gmail.com. Maybe take a picture with your phone or something and send us a picture of that puppy on wrist. That would be super, super cool, Kyle, if you could do that. And man, it probably looks great in person. It probably looks, let us know in the chat here if you think it looks better in person than all the photos and everything that you'd seen. Because that's usually the case with Grand Seiko. I buy luxury items to reward myself for hard work and success. Kevin in the house, that's right. And here's the thing. If somebody planned for something like this happening, and people out there say, oh, you could never anticipate something like this. Hey, things happen. Things happen. And sometimes it's a good idea to be prepared just in case something like this happens. Proper planning prevents poor performance. That's the 5P principle, right? So maybe some people were prepared, and maybe they had some cash on the sidelines, and maybe they're in a position to take advantage of a downturn, an economic downturn like this. I guarantee you there are people right now that are getting rich. And I guarantee you that a lot of the rich and super rich are getting richer. So the rich get richer and the poor get poorer, and that's how it works. And you've got to play by the rules that, you got to play the hand you're dealt. And people keep saying, well, we need to change the rules. Well, unfortunately, the rules are what they are, and you got to kind of like take advantage of what you can take advantage of. You can't always change the rules. The rules are what they are, and the rules are the rich are getting richer and the poor are getting poorer. And that's the way that's working. Let's see here. Carlos, I got tested yesterday, was sent home from work due to high fever, 100.8. I've been having symptoms, but I'm awaiting test results. Fingers crossed. Okay, so that's Durr. I guess it was Durr that he was asking about as to whether or not he has the thing. Maybe that Frederick County News Company that tried to Me Too Craig will go under. Well, they already did. They sold out for like 5 cents on the dollar to an operation down in Virginia, the Frederick News Post. Yeah, they after 150 years, they went belly up, and it couldn't have happened to a nicer bunch. And the company that bought them out really just bought it for the press. They had a big, expensive, made in Japan, believe it or not, press. Those huge presses that are like the size of a city block. They had like a $4 million press, and they built, in a building and everything, and they sold all of that. They sold everything lock, stock, and barrel to an operation down in, I think they're actually based out of West Virginia, that has a bunch of newspapers. You can Google it. Frederick News Post sells out or whatever. The Randall family had it for 150 years, and yeah, they went belly up. And that hit piece that they did on me was one of their last salvos to try to drive us out of business because we were really putting a hurting on them. And that didn't work. And so that was kind of it. A few years later was when they ultimately went belly up and had to ultimately sell out. So that's what happened to them. And the paper is like really thin now. It's really small, really thin. They're continuing to print a paper, the company that, bought them out, but it's really not much of a paper anymore. And really they bought that for the press. They use it to print their other newspapers that are around the area, around the region, and other like magazines and other things that they print for people. So yeah, they bought that all pretty cheap because, that print, the whole thing's on its way out. So they bought it pretty cheap. Let's see. Moray was a metal stress analysis pioneer. Okay. The deflected patterns he created on material surface were a reliable calculation method prior to computer tech. I am a rat and a recovering engineer. Well, there you go. Time check. Time check with the 005 9F. And let's see here. Dura Health Service is following us by phone. I assume they will test us when they have spare tests, Carlos. Carlos, I have been drinking bourbon, and it has honestly made me feel a little better throughout the whole process. Well, there you go. A little bit of bourbon. Get that alcohol to kill the bad stuff. Dur, how did they take your temperature? Yeah, so there was a meme going around on Facebook and said, if somebody knocks on your door and says they need to put their finger up your, to take your temperature, it's a scam. So yeah, so if somebody knocks on your door and says they need to do that, it's not the real deal. I saw that article on you, Craig. Any response to that? You mean me respond to it? I mean, I think it's pretty obvious it was a hatchet job. I mean, I was taking pictures at a high school football game. They were totally innocent pictures, nothing untoward about the photographs, and they were put on a family-friendly website. And they basically lied in the article and half-truths and outright lies to try to do a hatchet job on me. They went to a few parents and asked some loaded questions to try to get, some outrage. And of course, back then, not that many people even knew about the internet and how it worked and all that. So they were able to easily stir up a little bit of outrage. And then there were just a lot of lies in there. They talked about an investigation. There was never any investigation. It was just total BS. So that's what that was all about. And so they took a shot and they went out of business, and so they got what they deserved, I think. Let's see. So they said the only reliable readings they have been getting through the oral temperature checks under the tongue. Okay. And so are you still in your bike? Okay. No, I'm home now, Carlos. Okay. And Briefit Dance says, hi, everyone. Craig and I created a new logo. Yes, she's got a new logo. Briefit Dance. Briefit Dance. And it definitely is. Let's pull up her Facebook page. Give me a moment here. We'll do another time check. I'll pull up her Facebook page, and we'll see if we can pull this up and show her new look. The new look. By the way, folks, you guys should like her page. You should like her Facebook page. Everything's loading slow here. I swear everybody's at home playing on the internet. That's what's going on. Once this loads in, I will show it to you, if it ever loads in. And let's see here. Mark Goldberg asked to take your temperature. Don't let him. Oh, jeez. Have you seen Trump's Coronan Rhapsody? No, I haven't. In other words, fake news. Oh, can you imagine that? Okay, all right, here we go. There is Bree's Facebook page, and on the left, the circle, the Briefit Dance, the circular logo, that's her new logo. And she likes purple, so that's a cool color, and it really stands out. It's really different. I told her, I said, it's different. It's not going to be, nobody else is going to have a logo like you. That's for sure. So there you go, Briefit Dance. And her website is briefitdance.com. Okay, Cheetown. Hey, Craig, what pattern of fabric is that? Are you talking about on my shirt? I have no idea. I know it is 100% linen, and it's made by Kenneth Gordon. Let me show you a close-up of the fabric. And typical Kenneth Gordon, it's very comfortable, nice and full, very well made, made in these United States. So yeah, if you can get a Kenneth Gordon shirt, and you might be able to find some vintage ones on eBay that are in really, really good shape. And if you can get any of their 100% linen ones, I highly, highly recommend them. So, and Brief at Dance says, hi, to be you serve. And Durr says, Carlos, I remember you getting the Charlie Brown Timex. Charlie Brown is the man. Carlos says, thank you. And okay, let's show the Omega. And by the way, Bree, if you're still there, if you want to Skype in, you know you're always welcome to Skype in and say hi. And Durr says, Craig, how is Hoffman's doing with the shutdown? Are they still doing to-go orders? Have you had a roast beef sub lately? It's been a few weeks. Bree and I stopped in and got a roast beef sub and a cold cut sub, and they were planning on staying open because they are allowed to stay open because they are a convenience store. They sell bread and eggs and all kinds of stuff. And so as far as I know, they are still open, but I have not been there for a couple of weeks. So I'll let you know next time we're there if they are still doing their thing. Linen fabric, then that's what I wanted to know. Yeah, it's 100% linen, this particular shirt. But they make all cotton shirts, and this one is linen. So yeah. And I've got a picture on my, let me see if I can pull it up on my Flickr. I might have a picture of the label so you can see what you would need to look for. Give me a minute and maybe I'll get lucky and be able to pull this up. Give me a moment. I might get lucky. I might not, but I'm trying. Oh, I did. I searched linen and it came up. Here we go. Imagine that. It's their heirloom collection. And there it is. Kenneth Gordon, New Orleans, USA. I guess this one was made in New Orleans. And that's kind of a close-up where you can kind of see what it looks like and what it is. That is the shirt that I'm wearing. And somebody said, these trolls, they're unbelievable. So somebody said, why do you put all the pictures of your clothes up on your Flickr, blah, 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 who cares, blah, blah, blah. I said, people ask about it. Sometimes people do care. And if they do, it's handy. It's there. I can show them. And, if they want to go and try to get the thing or whatever, they've got the information they need. I mean, why wouldn't I put it up there? Why wouldn't I do that? Craig, do you cook? What's for dinner? Kevin D. I'm actually cooking in the slow cooker right now, the crock pot or whatever you call it. 6 hours. I'm cooking them. I'm cooking some black beans. And I'll have black beans with some, probably some salmon and probably some sweet potato. I eat sweet potato almost every day. It's like my staple. I eat sweet potatoes and the black beans almost every day. A lot of good nutrition there. I try to eat a very nutritious diet is what I try to do. I also eat walnuts. They're very good for you. I make my own almond milk with almonds. I actually soaked some overnight, and I'm making another batch of almonds here tonight to put in my oatmeal. I have oatmeal at night before I go to bed. I don't eat it in the morning. I eat it at night. But I make my own oatmeal and my own almond milk to go in the oatmeal, and it is fantastic. A lot better than the almond milk you buy in the store. That doesn't even hardly have any almonds in it. Let's see. The troll doesn't care about nice clothes because A, he's a troll, and B, he has no use for decent clothes. That's a good point. That's a good point. Let's do a close-up on the 231 Stunner. Got a lot of specks of dust on it. I should wipe it off before I show it. But I wear my watches. Can you imagine that? Let's show it again here. And somebody said, "Oh, you don't really wear those watches because they're in too good a condition and all that. And you've been wearing that for a couple of years. It doesn't even show hardly any scratches at all. And, titanium scratches every time you look at it funny and gold scratches. And you can't wear day-dates for years. They're soft as butter and all this stuff." And I'm like, what in the hell are you talking about? Of course I've been wearing these things. Of course I wear them all the time. The hell am I buying them for? I don't understand these people. I don't understand these people. Okay, New Orleans, fun place. Currently working on some videos, but could definitely Skype in tomorrow. Bree, the lovely Bree, is going to Skype into the show maybe tomorrow. Well, you're always welcome. And hey, your work comes first. I understand. Focus on your work. And I'll tell you what, talk about an impressive young lady. She just works her butt off, and she's just learning every day. She's picking up new things and learning every day. She's like a sponge. She's just picking up knowledge, and she works hard to be in the best possible shape. I mean, she's drop dead gorgeous, and she's still working hard to be in even better shape. You gotta take your hat off to the lovely Brianna, BrieFitDance.com. Check her out, BrieFitDance.com, and go and please become a Patreon. Help support the young lady, be a creative. She wants to be a creative, full-time creative young lady. Peanuts are my favorite snack, though. I'll tell you what, those peanuts that we get at Costco, they're great. Unsalted, roasted in the shell peanuts. They say from Virginia. I don't know if they're actually grown in Virginia or not. I think they are grown in these United States for sure, but we'll have to find out exactly where they're grown, because don't buy peanuts out of Mexico. That can be dangerous. That's not a good move. Let's see here. Yeah, you get a lot of nutrition from those. Craig, how many sweet potatoes do you keep on hand at a time, and how do you cook and prepare them during the house? I buy bags of them. There's probably anywhere from 5 to 10 in a bag, depending on, sometimes they're bigger than others. I buy them at Costco, and I'll buy several bags and have them. I keep them in inside a cabinet in the dark so they don't sprout or whatever. So occasionally one will go bad. Randomly, one will just go bad, right? And you got to throw it away. But they do keep for a while. I don't think they'll keep for years, but they'll keep for probably months. But I rotate them, How do I cook them? I just take the sweet potato, I wash it real good, and then I have a peeler, like a potato peeler. I peel it first, and then I wrap it with a paper towel, and I soak the paper towel with H2O. And then I take the thing wrapped in the paper towel and I put it in the microwave. And depending on the size, I know pretty much how long to microwave it. If it's a really big one, I'll do 5 minutes, and then I'll turn it, and then I'll do like another 4 minutes, and it cooks completely. And if it's a really big one, I'll cut it in half lengthwise, and I'll save half for the next day. And then I'll just take the half that I'm going to eat, I put it in a bowl, and I cut it up real good. And then I spread half an avocado all over it. And then I take some vinegar and I pour some vinegar all over that combo of the sweet potato and the avocado. And then I take my black beans and fish or whatever else I'm eating with it, and I'll put that over top of that base. And then that's what I eat for dinner. And I eat it right out of a bowl. And the first time I served Brianna like that, she says, "We don't eat like this. We don't put everything in a bowl and eat it." She's used to having, a plate, right, and having things separate, right? So, yeah, that didn't, I'm not sure that went over real well. What did you think about that, Bree, about eating things in a bowl like that? Let us know let us know in the chat what you thought about that. I'm very happy with the Instapot. I can cook now. There you go, Carlos. It looks so much better in person. The quality is insanely good. I sent you an email with some pics. Okay, we'll pull that up in a second. Who has a better diet, Craig or Bree? I'll let Bree answer that question. I know, I think she wants to have a really good diet, and I think she's focusing on it. I think she's doing real good. I know when she's here, we try to eat good. Now, we will get a couple of subs from Hoffman, so that'll be where we'll kind of splurge a little bit and eat something that is not the healthiest in the world, but it's still pretty good food, but it's not, you wouldn't want to eat that every day. I'll put it that way. But generally speaking, on a daily basis, yeah, I eat really healthy, I think. Really nutritious food. Titanium is the next best metal next to gold. Well, there you go. Durr in the house. Maybe Bree can do a live stream later tonight on her channel. Make sure you're subscribed to her channel because she's going to be doing some more live streams, I think. I encourage her to do it. I think she should do it. She needs to practice. Do you eat avocado? Yes, a half an avocado every day. 1/2 avocado every day. Stay away from the virus, Craig. I've heard it targets Grand Seiko wearers with extreme prejudice. I heard that Grand Seiko owners are immune to it. That's what I heard. The Mighty Rat, I once had a bag of peanuts from an Iran air flight and got a free wasp included inside. Wow, that's amazing. Who has the better diet, AC3 or Clivers? That's a good question. By all appearances, neither one of them have a very good program as far as nutrition goes. If you get the proper nutrition, you don't tend to want to overeat. That's the reason that a lot of people overeat, is because they're eating empty calories. They're eating food that has very little nutrition. And so their body keeps wanting more because it's not getting the nutrition that it craves. So if you keep feeding it a bunch of empty calories, it just wants you to keep eating and eating and eating because you still haven't gotten the nutrition you need. But if you eat some highly nutritious food, your body just sends a signal to you, okay, I'm okay. You don't need to eat anymore. I'm okay. Craig, would you rather drink tap water in Mexico or eat peanuts grown from Mexico? Yeah, neither one. I think either one is going to be a problem. The peanuts, what I've read, and I don't know if this is true, but they have things in the soil, like fungus and different things in the soil that can affect the peanuts, and that it can really be a problem. So you don't want to eat. I don't think you want to eat anything that's grown in the soil down in Mexico. So that's a good thing to probably avoid. I'm having some chicken and marinara sauce with potatoes. There you go. Cheetown, fish, black beans, avocado, and yam, essential fiber, protein, and good fats. There you go. Cheetown in the house. Durr says, Craig, what do you think about brown sugar and cinnamon with baked sweet potatoes, mini marshmallows on top, also delicious with them? Yeah, but I mean, you can get to the point where you don't really need the sugar and stuff like that. If you don't eat that stuff, you tend to not crave it as much. And so I tend to not use any sugars. I'll use a little bit of honey occasionally. I might put a little bit of honey on my oatmeal, but not even often, even for that. So yeah, I try to stay away from the sugars. I think that's a thing to do. Craig, what do you think of platinum watches like the AP Royal Oak, Jumbo, Extra Thin, and Titanium and Platinum, or the Platinum Rolex Cosmograph Daytona? I wouldn't go that way. I just, they're heavy, and like, for example, Platinum Day-Date is significantly heavier than an 18 karat gold Day-Date. Yes, it's tough stuff, it's durable stuff, but I don't see the need. I would rather get just a titanium sport watch like the one I have on, and then maybe get a 18 karat yellow gold stunner for a dress watch and call it a day. I think that's the combo to have. Let's see, brown sugar is poison, much better. White sugar, yeah, I would pass on either one. Craig doesn't like busy dials or integrated watches with. Yeah, I don't like integrated bracelets. Yeah, I would pass on that altogether. All right, let us pull up. Let me pull up time check real quick. Let me pull up the email so we don't forget that, and then we got to look at the Omega, because we said we would look at it yesterday and we never got around to it. And let's pull this up. Oh yeah. Yeah, this looks good, and this is in an industrial environment somewhere. I like that. I like an industrial environment, and that's a tough-looking piece. That's a nice, clean, crisp dial. Looks like a perfect size on wrist. There's a close-up. Yeah, look at that nice smooth bezel. Just a nice all-arounder, just wear anytime, versatile watch. Remind me in the comments how thick that is. Is that only like 10 millimeters thick? There's the clasp. Nice flush to the wrist, nice clasp. And see, Kyle looks like a youngster. He looks like he's relatively young, so he probably isn't going to have the problem where his wrist is changing size that much. And so he probably doesn't need the micro adjustments. He's probably good to go with that. 2 thumbs up. Whoops. Oh, 2 thumbs up. Moving them the wrong direction. Kyle made a good move, I say. Let's see. Refit Dance. I do like to eat as healthy as I can. I think that Craig has a better diet than me because when I'm there, there's no sugar or salt. Yeah, we don't have a lot of junk laying around. Because if it was laying around, we'd probably eat it. So it's best to avoid it. Kevin's in the house. Morning, folks. KN in the house. Yeah. Carlos, sugar is something that you really need clean. With the brown, you have all the pesticides and dirty things that they use to grow it. Oh, I didn't even know that. Yeah, I would pass on any of the processed sugars. If you want to eat something sweet, eat an orange. Eat the natural sugar in the orange. That's where I would go with that. It was a salted wasp, but I still didn't go for it. Cheetown, 18 karat gold watch wearers are the ones resisting the coronavirus. It's a highly antimicrobial metal. There you go. That's the thing. Oh, hey, so is titanium. So is the grade 5 titanium that Grand Seiko uses. It's antimicrobial too. Bri, it's tough to avoid salt. I love salt. There you go, Durr in the house. Well, if you eat tasty stuff, you can get good taste without the salt, Durr. We'll get you. We'll bring you around. Bree says cutting on sugar and salt can really make a difference in a diet. Yeah, cut that stuff out. Absolutely. Oh, look at her logo. Bree's got her. I just noticed she's got her new logo next to her on here. Wow. Well, that's pretty cool. Bu Serve says, I love fat, especially the kind that hangs of steak and bacon. Oh, who doesn't love a great steak and a great slab of bacon? But I do eat those kinds of things in moderation. Oh, I know salt is great, but reducing it is good. Well, see, if you take some vinegar and you put a little vinegar on some things, it can make it really tasty and all. And vinegar is good for you. So there are things you can do to make something tasty and give it a little bite without, and still, be healthy and still be good for you. Kevin's in the house. Hey, Craig, yesterday's show was good. It made me search for an old show with Archie. The chip thing made me laugh. Kevin in the house. I do have the video of me on his show. I think I've got it on my Grand Seiko page on my website. So if anybody ever wants to see one of my appearances, I've been on there a couple times, but one of my appearances on the Archie Luxury Show is on my website, CraigShipp.com. Go to the Grand Seiko page, which I do have a link in the description on this video. And I believe I've got that video embedded in there so you can see my appearance on Archie Luxury Show. The reality is that Craig's heart will always be with 18 karat yellow gold. Well, for a dress watch, that's my first choice. Absolutely. That will always be my first choice for a dress watch. I mean, and I think it should be everybody's first choice, really. Just somebody made a comment on one of my things. Well, that's just your opinion, Well, I said, well, but I'm right. I mean, right? I mean, let me know in the chat if I'm ever wrong. Come on, guys, let me know. I think I'm pretty much right 100% of the time. So that's how that works. And I told him, I said, if you don't like my opinion, you don't have to watch, right? I mean, thousands of YouTube channels out there, right, that he can tune into. Literally thousands of them. Probably thousands of watch channels, for gosh sake. And this isn't really a watch channel, by the way. Another guy made a comment. What are you doing putting videos on here that don't have anything to do with watches? Well, most of my videos don't have anything to do with watches. If you look at the sheer number of videos that I have and then look at the number of them that are watch related, yes, lately I've been doing a lot of live streams about watches, but you know, if you take the sum total of all my content, it's still maybe 25% of my content at most is watches, even counting all the live streams that I've been doing recently. So my channel's about more than just watches, folks. It's about, you know, just doing what you want to do and doing the right thing and being successful and having fun and meeting interesting people. That's what this is all about. Getting out and being in motion, making things happen. Price point of your old gold 9F. I sold that one for about $3,700, I think. I think that's what I sold that one for. So depending on the condition, you can buy those or similar ones anywhere from around $3,000 up to $4,000 in that range, depending on the condition and the dial that's on it and all that sort of thing. They're still available. They're still hanging around on eBay. So yeah, it's a hell of a watch for the money. If somebody wants that size, it was 35.5 mils, I think. It looked okay on my wrist, but it really was a little bit on the small side. If it was just 1 millimeter bigger, you know, 36.5 mils, something like that, 37 mils, somewhere in that range, I probably would still have it, to tell you the truth. I'd still have it anyway if the subscriber that bought it didn't, you know, really want it and, you know, kind of bugged me and kind of really wanted it. And I said, okay, I'll sell it. And then I got the 005, and I'm happy with the 005. It's a fantastic all-arounder. So let's see. What's the email address, Craig? I'd like to fly a watch by you guys. It's my name, CraigShipp, CraigShipp. Make sure you use 2 P's. CraigShipp@gmail.com. Yeah. Better looking than Aquaterra or Oyster Perpetual. I'm 35, still feeling very youthful. Kyle in the house. Yeah, so I think that watch is going to be fantastic. I mean, my gosh, you can wear that watch the rest of your life, Kyle, with no issues. I'm pretty sure you can do that. Now, does yours have the pin and collar, or does it have those little tiny screws to take the links out? Does it have the little tiny screws, or does it have the pin and collar system? Let me know, Kyle, in the chat. Durr says, I had that same watch that Kyle had, and I sold it. It was my first GS. It was a great watch, but small and was too boring for my taste. I sold it and got the SBGA 229 and the Snowflake. Whoa, I guess you did, yeah. But I'll tell you what, I think it's a nice, clean looking piece. I think that could be a one and done, really, that 9F Stunner. Carlos says, in fact, I only use sugar to make hummingbird feed. There you go. I don't blame you for that. Bree says, I would definitely like to live stream on my YouTube channel tomorrow around 7 p.m. so that I can practice and engage with viewers. Good move. Good idea. And always share the link. Share the link on your other platforms as you can. Bree sounds good. If you do, I'll log on. Okay, Durr's going to log on and check out the live stream. Okay, so what else was I going to show? Oh, the Omega. I never showed the Omega. Let's do that. Let's do that. Here we go. Here we go. Give me a moment. So here's the Omega. Somebody was asking about an Omega yesterday, and I said, you know, I was watching some of the old Bond movies on Netflix, and I kind of like these older original Bond watches that are quartz, and they're nice and trim. I think it's about 12 mils thick, and it's 41 mil watch. I mean, that's a lot of watch for the money. You know, if somebody wants a one and done, I mean, it's thin enough that you could actually use this as a dress watch. You could push this into a dress watch scenario. I mean, Bond did, after all, right? And that's a lot of watch for the money. And see the quartz movement? So it's going to be pretty rugged. It's probably not going to have any issues. And look at the price. I mean, I don't think there's much you can say against that puppy. What do you guys think about that? Just food for thought. Food for thought. Somebody wants a sport watch. Food for thought. Gee, I make that 1 part white sugar, 4 parts filtered water. There you go. With so many airplanes grounded and so little automobile traffic, they say that air pollution is way down. Good time to go for a walk or exercise outside. Absolutely. And the air here on the mountain is very good most of the time. It's pretty good to go out and bump around. So absolutely. Your first ever appearance on AC3 was taken down because me and Chip Wong super trolled you. Maybe that one was taken down, but I do have one on my channel where I put it up. I believe I screen captured it or whatever, and I think it's native on my channel, so it's there. So I don't know if it's the first one or it was a second one. I don't remember now. When you get old, you forget these things. Let's see. Okay. I think 99% of people here on live streams are here simply for watches and men's wear. Yes. Buserve, that's a shame what you are doing here now if that's the case. What are you doing here now if that's the case? Well, maybe he's turned over a new leaf. Maybe he's not going to be a nasty troll anymore. That's possible. Some trolls come around and realize that being a nasty troll is not a good way to go through life. Did you guys see that scene in Animal House? Where I don't remember the exact line where the dean of the school or whatever says to the guy, he says, going through life, they say, short, fat, and stupid is not good. Or something. I don't know. It was a funny line, In other words, going through life short, fat, and stupid is not a good plan. So yeah, going through life as a short, stupid, obese troll in your mom's basement is not a good plan. Sometimes it's a good idea to change that trajectory and do something different. Shouldn't hold a wrench. Derek's in the house. ViewServe gave Craig the bad review on Google. We don't forget here. Yeah, but he changed it. I think he changed it back to 5-star. Durr says he went and changed it to 5-star. There you go. He saw the light. Take my wrench if you want. I am at the mercy of the wrench court. ViewServe. No, well, ViewServe's in here. He's in here. He's hanging out. He's part of the wrench gang. Once you're a member of the wrench gang, you're here for life. It's the way it is. Yeah, that's right. Our WAG says we believe in redemption. That's the way to put it. That's right. Yeah, you're part of the brotherhood now. And and Brianna's part of the brotherhood. She's in with the wrench gang because she said she'll never sell her Bitcoin no matter what. By the way, it's below $6,000, I think. Bitcoin. Let's see what it's doing right now. See if I can bring it up here on the computer. So what do you think, our wags? Is the market going to open down tomorrow morning? Are we going to have another 5% sell-off? What do you think about that? Time check there. Let's see. Email launched and on its way, Mighty Rat. I'm going to check my email here in a second. Get caught up on these comments. Blue says, are Wags in the house? Absolutely he is. But you serve, I have a history of trolling the hell out of YouTube accounts before I actually became a fan of them. We have all been in the same boat. There you go. Carlos, hope you can make it to the Indianapolis 500 in August. I hope they have it. I hope they have the Indianapolis 500. We all deserve a chance at redemption. There you go. The finishing on those Seamasters is quite good. Okay. I don't think so. Let's see how everything evolves. Okay. And Jonathan says, do you think the Snowflake will drop in price with the debut of the new caliber 9RA5? The new caliber has a 5-day and higher accuracy. Well, no, the Snowflake is a spring drive. It's super accurate already. I mean, yeah, they're improving it, but my gosh, it's already fantastic. I don't think you need anything more accurate than the current spring drive, but will it drop in price? I don't know. I mean, I think over time, you know, most watches go down in value. I mean, they're not a good investment. So, and I mean relative to the current purchasing power of money. But anyway, that's a whole nother discussion. But yeah, a watch, and that's part of the topic of this. Oh shoot, this is not loading in. That's part of the topic of this show is, should you buy luxury items now? And anytime you buy luxury items, my position on it is that's money that you should consider spent, not invested. That's money you should consider spent. And you should only spend money on luxury items if you're already in pretty good financial shape. In other words, you've got a nice nest egg, your house is all paid off, you don't have any car loans, you don't have any debt at all, and you're in good shape financially. Then it's time to consider some luxury items. Absolutely get some luxury items. My gosh, that's what life is, you know, why not? Why not treat ourselves to something nice, I think, occasionally. We live a thrifty lifestyle, generally speaking. You know, we don't just go out and throw around money and waste money, but occasionally buying something nice, especially something like a watch that you can literally wear for decades. I plan on wearing this one for decades. Let's get a close-up of that puppy. Why not treat yourself to something nice? And I think the time to buy something is when, I can't get this page to load. I think the time to buy something is when everybody else is panicking. So, yeah, so that's a possibility. Okay, so catch up here. Dear Craig, I have that same Omega Seamaster Quartz, and it's the only watch in my collection I will never sell. It's my good luck piece and has a ton of sentimental value. I wear it for special occasions. Is it comfortable on wrist and relatively thin? I think it is. So yeah, we're down to $5,908 on Bitcoin. So anybody that said, well, if it ever goes below 6,000, I'm buying, well, there's your chance. A lot of those people that say things like that, or then it gets below, 6,000 or whatever, and then they say, well, no, if it ever gets below 5,000, I'll buy. They keep moving the target, right? And then when it goes back up, it turns out they missed. They never bought, and so they're basically no coiners. Dan McDermott is in the house. Let's see here. Let's see. Good question, Jonathan. Maybe we can get a deal on the other models. Craig, let's say I had the chance to buy either a Datejust 36 or an Oyster Petrol 36 for the same price as one and done every outfit Rolex. Which would you go for? Datejust, especially if it has a Jubilee bracelet. I would go with a Datejust with the Jubilee. And if you can stretch, if it has the Oyster bracelet, I would stretch and get one with the Jubilee. And I'd go ahead and get one with the white gold bezel. If you're not going to go that route, if you're not going to stretch to that, then I would probably, get an Oyster Perpetual 36 with the Oyster bracelet and the smooth bezel or whatever, and call it a day and save some money. You're going to have to spend more money if you get the Datejust with the Jubilee. So that's the decision point there. Our WAGs, Indianapolis 500 is a racing event. Right, yeah, absolutely. Animal House is one of my favorite movies. Yeah, that's a great line. Do you remember the line in there? Do you remember the line? Not good to go through life, blah, blah, blah. Do you remember the whole line? We'd like to get it in the chat. What if I'm only two of those things? Dan McDermott. Come on, Dan. Dan, come on. You're smart, at least. Dan. First of all, Dan, what the heck are you doing watching this live stream when the president's on? Isn't the president on? I thought the president was on. You always watch the president. Dan owns newspapers down in Northern Virginia, down in Front Royal. He's a newspaper man. So he keeps me up to date on the latest news. And he was also one of the first ones on Google Plus back in the day when Google Plus started and the live streaming and all that stuff. He did a lot of live streaming. And I was on his show from time to time. We were the first ones to actually figure out how to live stream a Hangout, a Google Hangout, before they even built it into Hangouts. Before it was even a thing, we were doing it. So back in the day, we were early adopters on that stuff. Let's see, is Dogman part of the wrench gang? I don't think he has a wrench. I don't know if he's ever been in here. I don't know if he's ever been in the chat, the Dogman. They appear to be screws. I hear the people that say it looks boring, but it works for me. Oh no, that watch is gorgeous. When you want an all-arounder to use for dress and for all-around purposes, you want it to have a conservative look like that. You don't want it to be flashy and have a lot going on. I think it's fantastic. I think it was a fantastic choice. David Williams in the house. Fat, drunk, and stupid is no way to go through life, son. There you go. That was great. Fat, drunk, and stupid. So we could add to that for the trolls. We could add fat, drunk, stupid, and hanging out in your mom's basement eating Lay's potato chips. Eating store brand potato chips is not a good way to go through life. That would be the whole line here. Double secret probation. Is Bitcoin right now worth purchasing at this price point, Craig? During the house. It could go lower, but maybe it won't. We don't know. And this is what I would do. If I was a no coiner, if I had no Bitcoin at this point in time, I would buy Bitcoin. I would remedy the fact that I'm a no coiner, and I would make myself a Bitcoin holder. Yes, I would buy. But it could go lower. I mean, we're in very, very strange times. And when people are, suffering financial hardship, they sell any asset they have. I mean, they liquidate things. And the weak hands are going to sell, and the strong hands are going to buy. That's what's going to happen. And money is going to transfer from those who have weak hands to those who have strong hands. And that's how this usually works out. And the rich are going to get richer, and the poor are going to get poorer. Unfortunately, that's just the way it works. I'm keen to see the spring drive movement evolve, getting thinner, smaller, and with the power reserve on the back. I can see GS becoming more and more popular with those features. Absolutely, Kevin. I love the 002. Let's bring the 002 up. I love the fact that it's nice and thin. It's 10 mils thick, and it's got the power reserve on the back. And I love the fact that it's manual wind. I like a dress watch to be manual wind. And I'm right with you on all of those points. Now that Rolex, Patek, and other watchmakers are postponing their 2020 releases, do you think they'll use the time left this year once they reopen their factories to catch up on waiting lists? Mark in the house. I don't know. I doubt it. I don't think Rolex cares about that. I think if the economy doesn't rebound pretty quick, I think you're going to see a lot of speculators and gray market dealers and so forth selling a lot of these, especially the steel sport watches that they paid over list for, or that they were hoping to get over list for. I think you're going to see those coming on the market, and I think you're going to have some buying opportunities if that's what you've been waiting for. If you've been waiting for those kinds of things, I think that there's going to be some opportunities. Dow futures are currently indicating a positive open, but that can change quickly. There you go, our wags. Well, maybe it will be a positive opening. Maybe they know something I don't know. There's been mixed news about this whole thing that's going on. There's been mixed news. There's been people saying that it's going to resolve itself pretty quickly, and then there are people saying that it's going to get a lot worse, and so there's still a lot of uncertainty, and maybe there's some people that know a little more and know that, hey, this thing's going to wrap itself up pretty quickly, and we're going to be back. It's going to be party time sooner than we all think. That will be very good news. Craig, what is the realistic lifespan someone should expect from a DSLR or mirrorless camera? Cheetown, California. I think that my A7S Mark II is going on probably 4 years old, 4 or maybe even 5. I mean, I think you can easily get, 5, 6, 7 years easily out of a decent camera. Yeah, I don't see why not. My Panasonic FZ1000, which is not an expensive camera, it's probably 5 or 6 years old. My A6500 is probably 4 or 5 years old. I'm hoping that Sony comes out with a professional version of that camera, which they haven't done for years, and a new A7S series camera, an A7S Mark III. I'm hoping they come out with one with some major improvements, because I would buy one. I love my A7S Mark II, and I would buy the Mark III if it has some significant improvements, like 60 frames a second, 4K, and some other things, less rolling shutter and some other things. But, I mean, I'm not pressed to buy another one. If it better have some major improvements, or I'll just keep using the one I have. With the market as low as it is, I would be buying. If it gets any worse, it's the end of the world, and it doesn't even matter. No. The market has gone down 50% before in major pullbacks. And I think it went down even more than that in the Big Depression, didn't it, percentage-wise? So, no, it can go down further from here. I think it can absolutely go down further from here and still recover. I think your numbers are off. Our WAGs, the major pullbacks in the past that we've had, haven't we had 50% pullbacks and then some? I think we have. Maybe he can give us some historic reckoning on that. Thought I'm about to pull the trigger on a SBGP007. In your opinion, is that a one and done? Let's pull it up. SBGP. Give me a moment here. I'm going to pull this puppy up. Oh my gosh, yes. We talked about this yesterday. Holy cow, are you kidding me? That is a stunner. Have you talked to Steve? Does he have one in possession, and has it come in yet? That's a brand new model. I think they call that the Superman. That is a stunner. Absolutely, that could be a one and done. Absolutely, Kevin, without doubt. Craig, as a no-coiner right now at this second, what would you recommend? How many Bitcoin should someone buy right now during the house? Oh, man, that's a real tough question. I mean, first of all, I don't, I can't give financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. But somebody asked the Bitcoin Meister years ago. I remember in a live stream that he brought it up and it was discussed. And I think we even discussed it when I interviewed him on this show, I think 3 or 4 years ago. We talked about that. How many Bitcoin should you have? And I think the number 21 was kicked around at that time, that a good number would be 21 because there's going to be 21 million Bitcoin. And if you had 21 Bitcoin, that would really put you in the elite. You'd be like, 10 years from now, 20 years from now, in the future, somebody that had 21 Bitcoin would be that you'd be in the elite. And now they're saying that even if you own just one whole Bitcoin, that will be very rare 10 years from now. It will be very rare for somebody to own one whole Bitcoin 10 years from now. So I would say the number of Bitcoin that you should have would be somewhere between one whole Bitcoin and 21 Bitcoin, somewhere in between those two numbers. Now, if you have 50 Bitcoin, that's even better, right? I mean, obviously, that's even better. But I would say if I was starting out today, I'd set my target somewhere between 1 Bitcoin and 1 Bitcoin. I'd set my target somewhere in there if I was starting out today. Let's see. Cheetown, Craig, my friend with a pre-ceramic sea dweller is giving me grief for liking the Super Case Submariner. Are you going to stand behind me or join him? Super Case. I would pass on the Super Case, Cheetown. I'm not a fan of the Super Case. I just don't think it's attractive. I just don't like the proportions of it. I don't like the way the lugs go in quite a bit to the bracelet. I think they should have put, if they were going to put fat lugs on it like that, they should have put like a 22 millimeter bracelet on it or something like that. I just don't like the... Okay, it says that we are live. I'm going to try to refresh and see if we're live again. And then we're going to figure out what we're going to do. Put fat lugs on it like that, they should have put like a 22 millimeter bracelet on it. So that's where I was insulting the watch. And let's see if we're live again. Let me know in the chat if we are live again. And we're not going to be live for long because I do have to go eat. But I don't know why this thing cuts off like that, and I didn't notice it right away. So it took me a little time to reboot, but it is what it is. In the meantime, RWAG sent me a video that I'm going to go ahead and play. This guy's got a Trump imitation down down pat. So he's gonna do his best Trump. Let's see here impersonation is the word I was hunting for. Okay, here we go. You ready? We're gonna go ahead and play this puppy. It's pretty funny.
150 years ago, our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ, whose full name, he was Jewish, so his full name might have been like Christowitz, but God rose him from the dead on a holiday we now call Easter. Not a lot of people know that, but it's called Easter. It's when Jesus and the 2 Corinthians met the Easter bunny and came back from the dead. It's a beautiful story. Very important for the Christians like me. And I have decided, I'm announcing today, we are going to bring back the economy on Easter Sunday. Because God, who, to be honest, is, he's a good God. He's done some strong things. Let's be honest, his record is like not so great though. He brought one guy back on Easter Sunday, and it was his son, so it was kind of like biased. But we're going to bring back the entire economy on Easter Sunday. And at that point, I think basically I'm better than God. So when we do it, we're going to do it toughly. We're going to do it with great compassion, great strength, tremendous strength, and also toughness. Easter Sunday, we're going to put it on pay-per-view. God versus Trump. Who brings back more people on Easter Sunday? We're doing it. I'm going to fire Fauci probably on Good Friday. And they call it Great Friday for Trump. And that's it. So let's do it. Let's get perfect health. Let's get back to work. Jesus Christ, not as good as Trump.
Oh, jeez. You got to thank R. Wags for that one. He sent that one in. That is hilarious. I got to follow this guy. I forgot to follow him. Give me a second here. I'm going to follow this guy. Jeez. Are you kidding me? All right. I'm following him. That's great. That's a good, he does a good Trump. So there you go. That's what we get on this channel. All right. So let's catch up real quick. And we're going to wrap it up because I don't know why this thing cut off like that. It cut off the other day. Internet, things are happening on the internet because there's a bunch of people out there just on the internet, hanging out on the internet. A lot of things going on the internet. The internet's a thing all of a sudden. Let's see. David says sometimes there's a reason it's so low. And let's see here. You live in Detroit, so you may know more about Ford than I do. I don't care for the auto companies because they are so unpredictable on their earnings. I would invest in another stock. I agree with you. I hope Craig starts a new stream. He did. Buffering. Okay, I will check back in a few. Looks like the stream is down. Yes, Blue, it was down. Durr's in the house. Our WAGs and options on stocks to invest in or learn more about it. I'm new to the whole thing, Durr. David Durr, not our WAGs, though. I would think about products and companies you interact with on a daily basis. Who are they? There you go. And our WAGs is in that business. He can certainly help you out with getting you started on some investing. Absolutely. Mark Abel's in the house. Rolex didn't like you dissing the super case, Craig. They shut down your live stream remotely. Absolutely. They can intervene. They can come in and just intervene. I would bet on something related to China-U.S. decoupling, but cannot think on what. Carlos in the house. Shorting some Chinese stocks. There you go. Buy a copy of the Investor's Business Daily and a copy of Barron's at the newsstand. A very good start. There you go. Thurston Howell III, yes, live. Okay, we're back, says Kevin. And Cheetown says live. The David head of cybersecurity at Camp David probably bought himself a tutor. There you go. The head of cybersecurity. Yeah, he's got to get the time straight. He got to realize that we don't go off the air until 6 o'clock, because of course I think we were cut off around 6 o'clock. So maybe we're getting a message that we should only broadcast for an hour. This guy does a good job. Jason in the house. And Luis is in the house. Hi, Jason's in the house. And live and okay, so as our WAGs. Chip Wong is an early coiner. He has a ton. He has Bitcoin? Well, that was a smart move if he has Bitcoin. Absolutely. That's the good move, to have some Bitcoin. But a lot of the folks that bought real early, believe it or not, have sold. A lot of them did not have strong hands and did not hold. So yeah, that's what can happen there. Kevin is in the house. Hey, Craig, what are your thoughts on the vintage style watches where the watch cases are more egg-shaped, short lugs? I can email you some pictures if it helps. Kevin in the house. Yeah, you can email a picture. That'd be fine. But I like the style like the older oyster cases, like the older Datejusts, the 36 mil Datejusts, go back 10, 20 years. I mean, they had great case designs. Even the red sub Rolex, the Submariner with the red on the dial, I owned one of those. It had a great shape to the case. And of course, the Day-Dates, the classic Day-Dates for many years, all had great oyster cases. some of the Patek Philippe Calatravas, we've talked about. Some of them look better than others. You pick up the one that I think is really nice. Yeah, this one has a gorgeous case. Let's play this video a little bit. So we can get this to play. That's just a gorgeous case design.
But with full bracelet, you have a rare treat.
Look at that
Perhaps
case.
the most appropriate gold for a Patek Philippe watch.
I mean, just stunning. How can you improve on that?
And
How can you improve on that? And then, of course, I like the case on the 002. The lugs are a little bit different shape on that. A little bit more bulbous, but a nice taper to them. So yeah, I like that case design. So I mean, I'm not super picky. I just like I just like an attractive case design. Even this case design here, you can see the lugs, how they kind of taper to the bracelet and how they kind of curve to the wrist. See that? I mean, it's not rocket science. I don't know why some of these designers diverge from this and come up with chunky looking cases that are like flat and don't curve to your wrist, and the bracelet looks goofy. And then they come out with these goofy looking watches with the integral bracelets like the Offshore and the Royal Oak and all those things. What in the hell are they thinking about? You know, because this designer thinks it's cool, and then all of them want to be like that, and they all want him to design their watch. I mean, it's a cluster, you know what. I mean, they look like garbage. I mean, why wear that sort of thing? I mean, you only have one wrist. Why would you wear something like that? But anyway. Hey, that's a Tim Marceau watch review. Yeah, I like his reviews. Yeah, absolutely. I play a lot of his videos. He does a pretty good job. So, Mark Abel in the house. Both watches are nice, but not the President. The Day-Date? The Day-Date is fantastic. Derek in the house. All right, I'm going to wrap this puppy up because I'm going to eat something, and I apologize again for the stream being interrupted. The internet is a little bit dicey, these days. So we do the best that we can. Please click subscribe. Click subscribe. Check out the links in the description. Click subscribe. Click the little bell. Click the little thumbs up. Give me a little thumbs up, if you will. I'd appreciate that. It helps. And we will see you next time. Final time check. Thanks again for watching.